Welcome to the Geek Homeworld. I am your host, Ed, aka SavageTechman. We talk sci-fi, TV, movies, superheroes, and all from a geek perspective. You can find us on Blogger, Google+, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're everywhere. Join the Geek Homeworld. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, SavageTechman, aka Ed. Joining me once again is Scott Schreiber.
Hey, for the fifth and final time for the series.
For this series of, we're on part 5. We're up to the top awards, the big awards. Just a reminder, you can hear us all on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. geekhomeworld.libsyn.com is our main site where you can check out the podcast. Scott's done a wonderful job each night leading up to the Oscars. He's got very detailed blog entries on there that you need to check out also. And that's at geekhomeworld.blogspot.com. And he's going to be back after the Oscars at some point, and we're going to talk about our picks, our hits and our misses on this, and our snubs and whatever else we had, and all the fallout from the Oscars. So we're Oscars 90. This is our 5th and final episode of our series on the 2018 Oscars. And we're going to start with Best Adapted Screenplay. And the nominees are Call Me By Your Name, Logan, Molly's Game, Mudbound, and The Disaster Artist.
Right. So I'm pretty sure I can guess what both of us want to win.
Logan.
Yep.
And the fact that it made it this far, no other superhero movie has made it to a category like this.
Yes, screenplay. This has never been done before. A superhero film has never been nominated for screenplay before. This is truly groundbreaking, and it deserves it. This is one of my favorite films of the year. Mine too. Love that it is recognized here. I wasn't sure if it would be, but the fact that we can say that Logan is an Academy Award nominated film, I love it. I love it.
Even though there were no other nominations, this is a big one, and this story was important. This movie is on the level of The Dark Knight, that it transcended for me superhero movies. Okay, Black Panther is kind of there right now, and we'll talk about that in a later episode. I totally loved it, and time will tell. But Logan, I wish it would win. Is it going to win? I don't
no, it's
think
not.
So.
I think there's only 2 that have a shot here. Yeah. Along with Logan, you've got Mudbound and The Disaster Artist that are going to be on the outside looking in. I think that the race is down to James Ivory for Call Me By Your Name and Aaron Sorkin for Molly's Game. But I believe that the edge will go to James Ivory for Call Me By Your Name. And one of the main reasons for that is there's a final speech at the end of the film that Michael Stuhlbarg gives that is maybe the most poignant and well-written soliloquy, if you may.
Okay.
To basically cap the end, to cap the story off. Yeah.
But it's once again, I keep talking politics. It's political. It's a controversial topic, but would you say it's an uplifting film?
I do, because it's about love, and having loved is better than
not loved at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the point of the film, and it really is beautifully done. And James Ivory, if you're not familiar with him, he is a legendary director from Merchant Ivory Productions, if you remember seeing that. He has been nominated 3 times for Best Director: Room with a View, Howard's End, and Remains of the Day. Mm-hmm. But he never won. Now, this is his 4th nomination ever now with a screenplay nod, and I just think he wins. He finally gets an Oscar, and deservedly so. I think Aaron Sorkin is the only person that has a shot with Molly's Game because that movie.
I do not want to see I would be upset if the Disaster Artist won.
Me too. I don't think it's really warranted. I don't think it should have been nominated.
Yeah.
So, but Aaron Sorkin's already won for Social Network. He was nominated for Moneyball. He did West Wing. He has all these awards.
Right.
I think that it goes to James Ivory.
All right, moving along. Best Original Screenplay.
This is tough.
Yeah, this is tough. Nominees are Get Out, Jordan Peele, Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig, The Big Sick, Kumail Nanjiani. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with pronouncing names. Yeah, you should try to pronounce mine. And Emily V. Gordon.
Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V.
Thank
Gordon,
you.
yes.
And The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor. This is I think Get Out's an out of nowhere success story. It's original in the sense that it's racism humor. I mean, humor horror, excuse me. Racism.
Well, there is humor there too, but I didn't mean to say it that way.
And it's got a good twist to it, but I don't think that's not the one I think that's going to win.
What is?
What I think. Okay, what I would like to win is The Big Sick. I would like that to win, but I think The Shape of Water is going to win.
Okay. Well, there's one that you only said 4 nominees.
Oh, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Big Sick, Shape of Water.
That's 4. Look one more down.
Oh, 3 more. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yep. I made a line there because I had some notes about Shape of Water.
I only bring that up.
I apologize.
Because I think that is going to win. I
could see it.
But again, I think that this is one of those kind of wide open categories. It's like you got Shape of Water and 3 Billboards that are kind of front runners for Best Picture, as are Lady Bird and Get Out. They're kind of like the number 3 and 4 in the Best Picture race.
For original screenplay, though, they're both original, but I think The Shape of Water is more original than 3 Billboards.
I disagree. This is why. Because as much as I love The Shape of Water, don't get me wrong, it's another kind of telling of Beauty and the Beast or Creature from the Black Lagoon. So that's where the originality.
I hadn't thought of that.
So I think that originality, 3 Billboards has it a little bit there, and it's relevant in today's times with Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement. It touches on both those issues. So and then there's this whole idea of redemption, that a racist cop can turn around and redeem himself. And so it's this hopeful story. And it's kind of strange, told by a Scottish man who wrote and directed the film. But I just see it. I see it winning there. But I could see any of the other 4 winning too, though. That's why it's so tough.
Lady Bird is a strong contender, and I think it's original in its own way. I mean, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Best Achievement in Directing is our next category. The nominees are Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread. I think hands down, this is an easy one.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk.
Okay. Now, I agree with you that he is one of the favorites. I will disagree in saying that he's going to win. I want him to win, but I also like and want Guillermo del Toro to win. That's who's going to win. Guillermo del Toro will win for Shape of Water, in my opinion. I think that it's one of those times when it's like, wow, Christopher Nolan, he finally got his directing nomination. He's finally going to win one. He deserves it so much. I mean, think about Inception and Dark Knight. I mean, and Memento and these brilliant films, and then he's never been nominated for Best Director. And now he finally is, and rightfully so, in such an amazing movie that is so perfectly put together. But unfortunately, bad timing. He's there with Guillermo del Toro, also first time nominated for directing. Right. He was nominated for screenplay for Pan's Labyrinth, one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah. But I think it's del Toro's year, and I think that if anybody could take it from him, it certainly is Nolan. You're right.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is, there's almost, and I've thought about this, with the big awards, I could see Shape of Water sweeping the Oscars almost. It's a possibility. I don't know what the odds are. I haven't looked at what the odds of who's going to win. And
it does have the most nominations. I don't like. In recent years, though, the Academy has really spread out the awards.
They have, and they've tried to diversify. I don't think, honestly, and it's to be nominated is just amazing. But Jordan Peele doesn't deserve Best Directing for Get Out compared to the other films. It was a good film, but
I'm not so sure either.
I would have rather seen Split, and I don't know why I put those two films kind of together, but I would have seen Split.
Well, they both came out very early in the year, so I think that makes sense. They both came out way early.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I think that he did do something unique. It's kind of like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner meets a horror film. So And he pulls it off, and this is his first. It's his first feature film too,
and it was done on a shoestring budget and made a gazillion dollars,
a ton of money.
So he's and with the empowerment of African Americans, I think with Black Panther, I feel like there's a movement. I think definitely next year we see something like that. I wouldn't not be surprised to see Black Panther up there, for some awards next year. Which it's still. It's not Logan, but
no, and that's where
and that's a different.
Yeah, let's talk about that next year.
I know. I just think it's an empowering moment for him to be nominated. But next year, I think it's going to be much different. We're going to have much more diversity next year.
Yeah, and the same can be said for Greta Gerwig. She's the fourth woman to ever be nominated for Best Director.
Yeah, excellent.
Catherine Bigelow won for The Hurt Locker,
which I saw it. I didn't think that year she really deserved it for that. I wasn't blown away. Ooh, wow, that's a bad choice of words.
No, that's actually kind of appropriate.
Appropriate? Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't mean it. But I really was, I don't know, I just wasn't enthralled with that film. It was okay, but it just,
Yeah, but I think, Gerwig, it's a great accomplishment. I think that, she deserved it. It's such a beautiful story.
Right.
It's about the sacrifices parents make for their children, and that you need to go call your mom and tell her you love her. So
I wish I could.
Well, you can just, I think you can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, and Paul Thomas Anderson, we haven't talked about at all here, which is unfortunate because he's, an amazing filmmaker. Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood. This is his eighth.
There Will Be Blood was an excellent film.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
I was totally, enthralled with
and for that film, he was nominated for 3. He was nominated for picture, director, screenplay.
Right.
And this is his 8th nomination overall.
Good Lord.
He's not going to win. It's going to be Del Toro, but it's worth mentioning that he does deserve it. Phantom Thread is it's kind of this haunting love story, just unconventional love story, and it's so beautifully crafted. It's worth a watch. He's an incredible filmmaker, and it's so different than what he's done in the past too. You think about Boogie Nights, and then to compare it to Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
So Dirk Diggler versus Russell Woodcock. Wow.
He's grown as a filmmaker. Okay, what about the big award?
The big award.
Is there anything else you had to add before we move on?
No, let's get to Best Picture.
Any snubs or anything?
Well, there were. It's kind of hard it's kind of hard to say there were snubs. I think Luca Guadagnino for Call Me by Your Name could have been thrown in there.
Yeah.
I personally think Edgar Wright for Baby Driver. I don't see that was such
a good movie,
such a unique vision.
It was
how
it was made, it was incredible.
Yeah, I just think he deserved to be in there. But
I think it'll get more technical awards, obviously. But
I think that he should have been in there instead of maybe a couple of the others. But the big award, let's go over the nominations here.
Best year.
Best Picture of the Year. So we got,
and I wrote on my notes here, difficult category, exclamation point.
Oh yeah, I think
I've got something written for everything.
I think for the first time in quite a few years, we really don't know what's going to win. I think that there are 2 that are at the forefront, and then 2 more that are there at 3 and 4 that could steal the show, and you just don't know.
Well, here are the nominees: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and my film I haven't made yet.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
again,
like, wow, that's like everything. I mean, that's a lot of films.
But here again, there's 3 films that are in my top 10 this year they may even be in my top 5 when I come down to my final rankings that are not in this list. Logan,
yeah,
Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049. Not one of those is here in Best Picture. I'm kind of disappointed in all of those. I don't think I would have... Again, I think Get Out, while it's unique, I don't think it's a Best Picture.
I think Logan's a stronger film.
I don't think The Post... Yeah, Logan is a stronger film. I don't think The Post...
I think is more Hollywood versus Trump sentiment.
Right. That's exactly what we were talking about in the previous podcast.
It's got an outside chance of winning.
No.
Yeah,
not one
for that, for the political statement. And
I get what you're saying,
and of course, but it's Spielberg. But this movie didn't do much for me.
No, me neither. I fell asleep. I'll be honest.
I had moments where I dozed.
I don't know if I've ever dozed through a Spielberg film, so I was disappointed. I really do think this is a political nomination. Because it's about the media and telling the truth, and
I can see them up
checks and
there,
balances,
and
but
I can see that.
And while I get that, I don't think it has a chance to win.
Well, I don't think a film necessarily should be judged on that. It should transcend the media, the medium, but there's a time and a place.
It should still be a good, entertaining film.
It should be a good, entertaining film. It should have a good storyline, and this was a good storyline, but it just wasn't. It wasn't strong enough, so
no. And here's a point for The Post.
Yeah,
the only other nomination it got was Meryl Streep. So you're a Best Picture nominee, but you only have one other nomination. No, sorry, that just doesn't cut it for me. I mean, you got
maybe they just want to make sure that Meryl Streep came to the Oscars.
Well,
just nominate her; she'll show up.
But so here's what I think's going to happen. I think that Shape of Water is your front runner.
Ooh.
And I think that 3 Billboards is a close second.
Wow.
Those are your 2 front runners. And just based on other award shows, from what I'm, hearing, reading, I've heard things. I've read things, but still. I think those are your 2 front runners, but the way the voting system is, I think that it actually may allow for the 3rd or 4th film to sneak in and win. And I think those 2 are Get Out and Lady Bird. I don't, as we just said, we don't think Get Out really necessarily deserves it.
You're going to be surprised by my pick.
But I think that it really does have a chance at winning. People love the film. Mm-hmm. But I just don't see anything beating Shape of Water or 3 Billboards right now. I think those 2 are your favorites.
3 Billboards has a lot of previous awards, but I don't think it's going to win. My choice, Darkest Hour. I think the Academy goes with Darkest Hour. I think they go kind of old school in a way, so to speak. With this, or for me, it's either that or maybe Dunkirk. If that's how I feel,
I would be so pleased if Dunkirk did win. I just because
sometimes you can go like director. You don't always have to go director and Best Picture. Sometimes you can make up for one. Like if he doesn't win this, maybe we'll give him Best Picture. But
and they've split them up recently. It used to go hand in hand.
It used to go hand in hand,
but in recent years, it really has. It's been like, okay, let's give this guy Best Director, and then let's give Best Picture.
It feels like they're trying to
spread it out.
Everybody gets an award. You get an award. You get an award. You get an award.
So if that's the case and that holds true, I really don't think Del Toro's losing. So Del Toro wins Shape of Water. That means 3 Billboards is your favorite.
And you could be totally right. I mean, this was the most difficult category for me, and I could see Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, I could see Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards four strong movies right there that could win.
And it's exciting. That's great. That's great for film.
Something tells me Darkest Hour has got it. I think that they love those period dramas, and Winston Churchill was so beloved, and standing up for freedom and against tyranny, and it's such an important story. I don't know. It could go either way, but I don't know. And I know we're going to find out.
No, and I respect that. I really do. I just don't see, like, as I said, I think in my blog that Shape of Water is the Academy's darling. It's like they love this film. You think it is? It is the Academy's darling. They love this film.
Well, I said that earlier. I could see this thing just sure. I could see it cleaning the house. It could be another... I don't know how many nominations it has.
13.
13. Well, there was like 12 for that Return of the King one, I believe. And I think it tied Titanic, or it might have done more than Titanic. I don't remember.
But I think
something like that. I remember like 12, the number 12. So I feel like it won like 12 awards, and I was all for it. I was like, yes, Return of the King, Return of the King, Return of the King. Just stay up on stage. We'll keep giving you awards. It was a boring show because you kind of know.
It was the most boring Oscars.
It really was. But for this, there's 4 strong movies there in that category for Best Picture. At least 4. And Lady Bird could surprise us. Absolutely. I mean, it's 5.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
everybody gets just give them all an Oscar. One's just shinier than the other ones are dull. They didn't clean them. They have fingerprints and stuff on them. Give those the Best Picture, and then whoever you really want to win, like Dunkirk, you shine up theirs and polish it really nice.
I just wish that everybody would write in Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
Can you do write-ins? Nah, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, or Boss Baby would win.
Oh, God. Oh, dear Lord. Not Boss Baby. Anything but Boss Baby. So I think that brings us to the end of our 5-episode, not podcast, but our 5. I can't do 5 podcasts right now. 5 episodes of our Oscars 90, the 90th anniversary of Oscars, our predictions, prognostications. That's a new word. I'm making up words as I go.
So I think my second job here is spell check.
Spell check,
or
that's why I write stuff down.
Prognosticator.
Anyway, so this concludes our 5 episodes. Check them all out. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let us know at Geek Homeworld on Twitter, whether you agree or disagree. We're on Facebook, Geek Homeworld. Check us out there. Go ahead and like that page. You can listen to these podcast episodes and all of our podcast episodes on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you would. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and get out there and go see these movies.
Yeah, get out there and either pay the rent or go see a movie.
No, support the film industry.
You should support the film industry. Yeah, you're supporting us. So we're in the industry, and maybe one day we'll be podcasting about, oh my gosh, Scott, we're going to the Oscars. I'm getting best sound, and because I can't shut up, and I don't know what you'll be. Best director. Probably, yeah, because you're directing me. Not very well. Anyway, so I never know how to end an episode, but thank you for being part of our episodes here. We've got so much more coming up in 2018. Please check out the blog. It's geekhomeworld.blogspot.com. And Scott is writing each day leading up to the Oscars some wonderful detailed blogs about the Oscars, these nominations and stuff, and our thoughts, and expanding a little bit more on what we're talking here. So it's kind of a companion to what we're doing. So you should check that out too, okay? And we'll be promoting this through our social media, especially on Twitter at Geek Homeworld. So hit us up if there's anything you want to talk about. And is there anything we forgot?
No, I don't think so. We pretty much covered it all.
We covered it all.
Except for I love film, and I hope everybody else does too.
I do. I love films, and this is my life. This is my career, and I hope to see you all at the theater. So thank you very much. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Geek Homeworld with your host, SavageTechman. You can find us on Libsyn, Google+. Follow and interact with us on Twitter
Like us on Facebook, listen to us on iTunes and leave a review, subscribe to us on YouTube, read our thoughts on Blogger. See you again on the Geek Homeworld.